The squad stands their ground. We can't breathe, but maybe we might live. Big Biz is looking to help? We'll see. I'm Jamal Simmons. This is Why You Should Care. Last week, President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gave two fierce critics of Israeli policy toward Palestinians a global platform when Trump asked Netanyahu to deny entry to Israel for two freshman Democratic Congresswomen, and Netanyahu complied. Representatives Ilhan Omar of Minnesota and Rashida Tlaib of Michigan held a press conference yesterday in St. Paul. It was covered by multiple national and international news outlets where they gave voice to their criticism of Israeli policy and what they say is denial of their right to freedom of speech. Both Republicans and Democrats expressed support for these members to visit Israel, even as many of them denounced the members' political agenda. In response to questions, Omar said that many friends encouraged her to visit Israel and the West Bank to see for herself what is going on, which was her objective in traveling to the Middle East. Now she's been denied that opportunity. Tlaib, whose grandmother lives on the West Bank, was most poignant when asked why she rejected Israel's offer to visit her family under strict conditions.
She said, I'm her asfur. Asfur in Arabic means her bird. And she said, I'm her dream manifested. I am her free bird. So why would I come back and be caged and bow down when my election rose her head up high, gave her dignity for the first time?
Now here's why you should care. Israel's an American ally. It's the only democracy in the Middle East. Shouldn't the U.S. government advocate for our leaders to visit our allies to learn more? I visited Israel and experienced some discrimination while I was there. But I also saw what an amazing place it is and how important it is to our country's goals. So whether you agree with these congresswomen or not, it is hard to imagine we'd be talking about them without President Trump's intervention last week. After 5 years, the New York City Police Department fired Daniel Pantaleo, the officer who put Eric Garner in the chokehold that killed him. Pantaleo repeatedly ignored Garner's dying words. "I can't breathe," he said, 11 times. Like most officer-involved deaths, Pantaleo won't face criminal charges. Meanwhile, officers in California will no longer be able to use deadly force when responding to situations if they think it is, quote, objectively reasonable. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the new law Monday that says officers can only use lethal force as a last resort. Imagine that. The law raises the bar to some of the highest standards in the country, and it goes into effect on January 1st of 2020. This comes after countless lives were lost in the hands of police, mostly men of color, including Stephon Clark, who was shot last year in Sacramento. Police officers shot Clark because they thought he had a gun, when in fact he was holding a cell phone in his grandmother's backyard. He died in that backyard. The bill also bars police from chasing suspects who are fleeing but don't appear to pose an immediate danger. While Clark's family, Governor Gavin Newsom, advocates, and others say this is a good compromise and a good first step to address ongoing police brutality, the Black Lives Matter organization is no longer supporting the measure, saying it's too watered down. Here's why you should care. Stephon Clark is just one of many unarmed young men who might still be alive if police officers were legally required to show more restraint. And though some might not feel like California's Stephon Clark bill goes far enough, it might be a start toward addressing police accountability. U.S. Steel recently announced plans to temporarily lay off hundreds of workers at its Great Lakes facility in Michigan due to lower steel prices and softening demand. The company said the layoffs could last beyond 6 months. The layoffs call into question President Trump's claims that he salvaged the domestic steel industry, and that the economy remains strong despite growing fears of an incoming recession. But is the economy strong for everyone? These layoffs describe just one page of a bigger story. According to a 2017 Career Builder report, 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Compare that to the highest paid big business executives, making 254 times the salary of an employee receiving the median pay at their company. That's according to a recent study from the Equilar Institute and the New York Times. So why should you care? Many argue big business perpetuates problems like economic inequality and climate change. On Monday, nearly 200 chief executives responded. The leaders of Apple, Pepsi, and Walmart issued a statement on what they call the purpose of a corporation. They argued that companies should no longer advance only the interests of shareholders. Instead, they must also invest in their employees, protect the environment, and deal fairly and ethically with their suppliers. Will this change of heart turn into real action? We'll see. But America's a capitalist nation. And although business people are less often change agents, they're good at hopping on board to give their customers more of what they want. Economic strife and cultural anxiety are like a big shark trying to take our democracy down. And if we're going to fix our society, we're going to need a bigger boat. Thanks for watching Hill TV on YouTube. Be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we post new videos. And head to thehill.com for all the latest political news.